All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to today's episode of the Plate and Post podcast. We have a very special guest, one of the kings of the West Island in Montreal, Chef Richard from Bistro Nolah. Please.
Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. It's a pleasure to have you here. Thank you for taking the time. I really appreciate you sacrificing an evening on a day off to come and sit with us and chat. So
Thank you for getting me out.
absolutely. Change your environment, sometimes the routine.
Yeah.
Switching things up is always a good thing. Hopefully we'll have an interesting conversation today.
Yeah, for sure. So let's just get this started. Tell us a little bit about yourself and how
Yes,
you got
please.
started with Bistro Nolah.
Woo. We have a lot of
We have
time.
a lot of
We have a
time.
lot
We
of
start
time.
from when you were young. What inspired you? What food? What ratatouille moment, kind of changed it for you?
Okay, so cooking. Why cooking?
Yes.
I didn't have any clue that this is where I would be. It just happened, I guess you could say by coincidence, but then again, not by coincidence. Why? Because I was in the kitchen when I was young with my grandmother and my mother. That's where it started. But who would think it would become a career, right? It's funny because in my graduation, my high school book, I saw an old photo of me, and underneath it, it said pharmacist. And I was like, what was I thinking back then, But to make a long story short, I don't know, I was working. I got a job working at the hospital. But so let's go back.
Yeah.
When I was in school, I needed a part-time job. And that part-time job started in fast food, Burger King. And it was just going to be a job. Nothing more than a job, right? But I got in there and everything just came easy. Okay, this is how you do this is how you do that, this is how you do this. And it just started to pop. Then they promoted me to swing manager. Boom. Then they promoted me to second assistant. Boom. Then they promoted me to first assistant. Boom. And then they made me head manager and gave me a store to run.
Wow.
Wow.
How old were you when you ran the first store?
I was in my 20s, early
Amazing.
20s, like 19
Wow.
or whatever.
And
So
just out of curiosity, how long did it take for you to get to that point? Not too long, it
it
seems.
took me, it was probably, I was there with them for about 6 years.
Wow.
Okay.
That all
Nice.
happened within a year and a half.
Wow.
2 years. When I say I knew everything about, so look, you can go to school and study management, but when you get into fast food, you're learning a system. So someone technically with a university degree and you with a high school or college degree, it's a level playing field because it doesn't matter. What you know does not happen in this space. It can be an asset sometimes to you or a liability. The idea is that you have to learn the system. And if you learn the system, then the system rewards you. This is black and white. So for me, you're making a Whopper. It's like 4 pickles, 2 tomatoes, 3 rings of onion, 1 ring of ketchup, a half a ring of mustard, boom, boom, boom. You learn all of this. But then you start learning the other things about your portion, your food costs, your paper costs, and how the operation actually works. I can give you examples, Every end of the month, there's accountability. So you have to go through all the paperwork, your sales, labor costs, food costs, and everything. And it's systematic. Like there's a system in place. You do an opening and closing inventory. You take your sales and all these numbers appear on the sheet when you enter all the data, right? Case in point, 1 month our paper cost was out the roof. Like the numbers were off by like 4 or 5%, which is huge for them, right? Because if you don't fix it in this month, now you multiply this by 12 months,
exactly.
right?
It carries over.
So where
What could it be?
what could it be? What was it? We had 2 new girls working in the drive-thru, and the drive-thru would do maybe 200-300 cars a day. They're supposed to put 2 napkins in each bag. Takeout,
That's
right?
the system.
How many were they putting?
They're putting 10 or 15 napkins in every bag.
Wow. Right off the bat, right away.
right off the bat. Same thing with all of them, McDonald's, KFC, all of them. They're cheater cups for your drinks. And there's a ratio of syrup to water.
Yeah.
And you have to put X amount of ice. If you flip those cups and look, the cup is not flush at the bottom. It goes in like a half an inch or an inch. So that plus the ice, you actually are not getting much soft drink in there, right? If you want to max it out,
Check
no
your cups
ice.
next time. Check your cups next time. Please,
Yeah,
guys,
no
please.
ice, right?
Count your napkins.
Yeah. The actual drink is refrigerated because it has to be. So you don't need ice to make the drink
More
cold.
diluted,
Colder.
or
Yeah, it's
colder,
already cold.
It's already cold, right? It's all about that bottom line.
Secret tips right there.
But you mentioned the napkins.
Yeah.
It's something so trivial, but one of the first things that I was taught when I started hostessing, my first job in a restaurant at 17, was do not give more than 2 napkins at a time to a customer. Like, because I remember one thing, it used to drive my boss crazy, and she was the nicest woman ever. She'd see like the busboy just grab a stack of napkins and put it on the table, and she would lose her mind. And that's true. It's
Absolutely.
as little as napkins make a huge difference.
So these systems work for a reason. And so what I'm sharing with you today, all of these stops along the way to where I'm at today have benefited me. So when you work in that system, you truly understand food costs,
Yeah.
condiment costs, paper costs, and your labor costs. So you're in school. This is what
That's probably
working.
better than going to
Yes,
university for
for
this.
sure.
Absolutely. Because your real
Which-
world experience.
It doesn't matter that it's McDonald's or Tokay. The same fundamental principles in McDonald's will apply in that
The
space.
highest level, yeah.
At the highest level. So for me, this just came easy. And it wasn't only that, I was able to fix the equipment, everything.
Interesting.
I would just soaked it all up, right? So even if there's politics involved in that space, the one thing that they can never deny is talent. And when you have an owner that wants to expand, he doesn't care about your politics. I don't like that guy. It doesn't matter why you don't like that guy. Does that guy have the skill set to make me make another 2 to 3 million a year? Because we have a location, we need a head manager. Yes,
Interesting.
promote him.
The
Okay.
work speaks for itself. I always tell my
So that was my
employees.
first introduction to food, and I excelled at that in that space. Like, I can't even explain it to you.
Uh-huh.
That was just like easy. It's like you making coffee in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Allow me to just a
Yeah.
quick question while we're on there. Has you've experienced any other things that you've done at that point where it was as effortless as working at
No.
automatically? That was one of those things where it was just like breathing. It was just obviously everything. was
Easy.
just common
It's
sense.
kind of like we were saying before we started filming when he said you either got it or you don't. And I think like that's
Right
so
off the bat.
important. Without
Yeah.
something mean, that's so important.
It's when I think this applies to anything. When you're in the right space, you just feel you're in the right space.
Absolutely.
You don't have to think about anything. It just comes naturally to you. So that, and listen, back then, because like I said, I'm dating myself. The two of the busiest restaurants in Canada were in Montreal. Phillips Square, it's Burger King we're talking about. In the summer, that was one of the busiest restaurants across Canada.
Wow.
And then when we transitioned into winter, 2001 University in McGill was the second at that period of time was the busiest.
Restaurant.
So now I'm dating myself, right? I've been in this 30 years, so we're going back to when I was in my 20s, right? You guys are good with numbers.
That's it.
We would do, when the average meal was, let's say, $5, we'd be doing $5,000 to $6,000 hours.
Wow.
So you tell me what that is. Anyone has a calculator here? You
Yeah,
tell
there's
me
some
how many
inflation
how many
math.
heads you're doing.
That's crazy.
Insane.
Okay.
We're gonna pull it up right now.
In the
And
comments.
as busy
get
and
We're
us-
gonna do 6,000.
and as busy as those were, when McDonald's, because I had
It's
friends
100.
working for McDonald's, when McDonald's opened up at Laurent, and a friend of mine says, Richard, you got to come out here and see what we're doing over here. So, there's technology now that they're using, but because back then, originally when McDonald's started, it was just a flat top, and you were actually flipping
The
burgers,
burgers.
right?
Wow.
When they opened up at Laurent, they had to change a lot of tech. And one of the techs was how fast they could cook burgers. Along came the clamshell. So they were cooking burgers on both sides.
But
Put
that's
the patties,
the famous McDonald's
Boom.
right off the bat.
yeah, boom, right? They were so busy. Like they made, like those two places that I worked at that were very busy, they made Phillips Square and 2001 University look like an appetizer.
That's crazy.
Wells Fargo had an armored car truck parked there for the deposits. 2 managers just did skims for their entire shift.
Oh,
Because we're back in the cash era, right?
Exactly. There was no
They were
credit
just
card,
they were
it was
just
cash every
they
day,
were
yeah.
it was so busy that was their job for 8 hours, just skimming out of the cash
That's it.
and
just
doing the
counting.
deposits
That's crazy.
and right into the armored truck outside the restaurant.
How the times have changed, eh?
Yeah.
You know, so we leave the fast food space, and then I didn't know what I wanted to do. I ended up working at the Montreal General Hospital, and I got a job in the kitchen.
Okay. Industrial cooking, commercial cooking.
Well, commercial, yeah.
Large scale, yeah.
Yeah, you know, at that time, just doing whatever job they had, cleaning, pushing the food trolleys up or whatever. And then one day, because I could never just be stuck on an island, you want to swim. So I'd always go and see what the cooks are doing. So that's how you do this. Da, 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 da. So during this time, I'm learning all these positions in the kitchen while I'm doing these mediocre tasks. Then one day, a buddy of mine that was working didn't show up. He was a cook's helper. And the section heads are freaking out. Oh my God, we have no one to replace this guy. Like, who could do this job? I said, I can do it. She's like, what are you talking about? I said, yeah, I can do it. I've been watching him for the last 3 months. And he's working, he's working with at the time, I think it was a guy named Manuel. He's working with Manuel. I see it's the same thing. The menu would change every a 3-week rotation. She goes, really, you can do it? I said, you have nothing to lose. Right now, you have no one.
That's it. Opportunity opened up.
So I went and I did it, and she was like, I can't believe this. I said, well, why? Why would I just sit here and do this? Like, it's not me. Long story short, then I got a bump up.
Nice.
Moved from that to that space. Had to do a little written test to say that I knew what a cup was and what was a tablespoon and a teaspoon and this kind of thing, and hygiene and safety. You know where you have to put this first in, first out.
That's it.
Raw at the bottom, cook above. So then I became a cook's helper, right? And technically speaking, I also knew what the chefs were doing because it was just very standard cooking, right? But that's where it stops. If you don't have certification, you're not going up to that next level.
Okay.
Being a cook's helper is fine because you're supervised by a chef or a cook at that time, a senior cook, right? But you couldn't go any further. And then the hospital started to go through changes. So I got out of there and went into housekeeping.
Okay.
No fuss, no muss. Good money. You're working evenings, 5 days a week, Monday to Friday, weekends off, a month vacation,
Different
6
lifestyle.
days.
That's it. The good life.
You gave all that up?
No, you know, no one is bothering you, whatever, right? So my supervisor at the time allowed me to go to culinary school. I made a decision after a buddy of mine went. He came back and he didn't do much with it because he really didn't love the space, cooking. He says, you know what, you pushed me to go try this thing. Why don't you go try it? And I said, you know what do I have to lose? Went in. And that was it. The rest was history.
The rest was history.
It was just history. I went in and again, here we go. Fast food, I went in and just soaked everything up like a sponge. Went into culinary and soaked everything up like a sponge. I never did a retake of any module of any dish that was shown to me. Graduated top of all classes for that year, and there's 4 a year.
Amazing.
Wow.
Teaching staff allowed me to go to the creme de la creme of any restaurant in Montreal. And at the time, there was 2. There was Tokay, or Mediterranean with Claude Pelletier of chasse pêche now, but it was Mediterranean back in the day. And I opted for Mediterranean because even though Normand had that name in the city, Claude was making a point that he should hold that space. So it was a creative kitchen, a lot of talent.
Nice.
And that was my first experience at seeing. See, it's always about putting a positive imprint in your head on how something should be done that will determine your success down the road. So going into that space where everything was perfect, every single dish that left that kitchen, Claude
Certified
checked,
perfect.
certified to go into the dining room.
Wow.
And it was just, like when we're doing mise en place, there was a garbage can in the middle of the kitchen, and he would pass by to see what was in the garbage can. So there was like almost next to no waste. You had to be meticulous. You had to be clean. Religiously, every Sunday, the kitchen got pulled apart for an hour.
So that discipline was instilled in you from very early on.
So you're seeing how everything kind of came together, right? I was in fast food. I learned about system.
Rudimentary, exactly.
Did my stage at Med. Learn how a perfect kitchen is supposed to run.
Can I ask you a question about that?
Yeah.
How do you feel the environment was at Med? Because you always hear these like crazy stories of these high-end restaurants where it could be either the most amazing experience or they're kind of like crazy a little bit also in the way they operate. How did you feel?
So yes, restaurant culture, right?
Yeah.
That wasn't the case there because Claude is not that type of guy, right? Claude was like the silent chef. His sous chefs, however, had the bite.
Interesting.
But it was a controlled bite because that was not him.
Okay.
But yeah, there was pressure because everything had to be done perfect. There was no monkeying around. Like what you learned in school, your Brunoise cut or your paysanne or whatever, like you had to be doing those cuts for all the preparation. And I remember mine was off. And the guy I was working with, the guy who was actually in charge of the garde manger section, the guy watched me do these cuts and he knew they were off. And when I finished, he says, just take all of that and put it in. We had a pot that we just would make a veg stock.
Yeah.
All the trimmings. So just take all that work that you just did and put it in the pot and start all over again. I said, okay, so this is where we're at.
Nice.
And then from there, because that was only a stage, right? And I would have loved to work there, but no one was giving up their spot. Everyone that had a spot was not leaving because they wanted that on their resume and they wanted that experience.
That's it. I think that's why they put up with the culture is because they understand that the goal behind it. There's a reason for the fire. It's to shape the diamond because you need that pressure.
That old mindset, and it was an old mindset up until COVID.
Yeah.
And then COVID just changed everything. A lot of cooks would do those stages for free just to get the experience and the mention on their resume because it would open doors.
Do you think COVID changed that because it was harder for people for restaurant owners and chefs to find employees, or why do you think COVID changed that?
It just changed a lot of things.
Yeah,
because we had a reset.
You had time to think.
People had time to think, right? We were on a roller coaster ride for the longest time, and now everyone had nothing but time to think. It was a stop. There was no 40-hour work week.
Yeah.
There was no running all over the place. You were just left in four walls to think. And people came out and they was like, well, I'm not doing that anymore.
Yeah. Was that really necessary?
Was that necessary? I don't want to work.
Yeah.
I'm not going to work 60 hours a week anymore. I only want to work 4.
Yeah.
I don't want to lose weekends. I don't want to lose Easter with the family. I don't want to miss out on my summers. It just changed.
Yeah.
So just because we're on the topic of COVID, I don't want to dive too much into it, but how did that affect you? Because you clearly had time to think as well, right?
Yeah.
So did that change the way you saw stuff, the way you did things in your restaurant? I mean,
this is a first I'm going to share. Let me tell you, that was a dark, dark time because one, we didn't know what this thing was.
Mm-hmm.
I need bodies in a space to make a living.
Yeah.
Now, bodies can't be in a space.
Yeah, it goes.
Not only can't bodies be in a space, when the bodies were allowed back into space, the space was reduced by 50%.
Yeah, yeah.
And they needed to be vaccinated.
And then there was all of this and all of that.
So
it was a lot of.
I don't know how many entrepreneurs or restaurant owners are going to tell you that they weren't in dark times psychologically. I can tell you I was.
Yeah.
Because you just could not.
You couldn't function normally. Everything just suddenly had to be like different.
Like, is this it?
That's crazy.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Did you like go into deliveries and stuff like that, like some restaurants did, to kind of compensate? Or?
Well, of course we pivoted, right? And we're blessed. It took off because the style of food that we're doing
was very unique.
Transitions.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. So it wasn't a hard pitch for us, right? And still to this day, some of the best sales we ever had was during COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, really?
Yeah.
People had money.
Well, you know what it is?
People had money. Yeah.
It's not unique to Bistro Nolah, but I believe what you put in is what you get out, and how you treat people and how you are with your customers. And if your customers really believe in your product, and this was customers saying this to us, you know what, we're going to keep you guys around.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just talk. Like, we had customers coming in every week, some twice a week.
Yeah.
Amazing.
You know, and I remember when we did, it was Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. I still have pictures. You couldn't believe the orders. It was
Wow.
A blessing.
It was just mind blowing.
Absolutely. Yes.
You know,
I love hearing stories like that because, I mean, we said it in the other episode as well, where COVID was a dark time for a lot of people. And like you said, it was a dark time psychologically, but at least, you know, you found a way to pivot and it actually worked out for you. Really, like, I'm genuinely impressed about what you're saying, you know, that your numbers were their highest.
Well, look, you know what? It's not only our story. There's quite a few other restaurants that survived. And it's all based on, like I said, how you can't take your clients for granted.
No.
You know, you have to cherish that relationship that you have with them.
I'm sure. I absolutely agree because you've been in that location for a while. You've probably seen families starting their family with their first child and then they're watching the kids grow up. I worked at, you know, a job for 13 years and I saw first dates becoming boyfriend and girlfriend, then fiance, then married, and then kids. Well, I was there every week, and it was crazy.
And not to be the Debbie Downer, and death.
Yes.
You know, like we've had
absolutely
we've had couples.
Mornings,
We have, and now that's what we're experiencing, right? Because we have some older clients, and you know, one of them, you know, suddenly I saw her come in, and then you know she had to fill us in that you know her husband just passed away 2-3 weeks ago, and you know, like it's happening more and more.
Yeah.
That's just, I mean,
those are the hardest. Like I'll never ever forget the first time that a customer, like, they walked in and a person wasn't there in the family. And at first, you know, when it's the first time it happens, you don't register it either. So me, I just went, I'm like, oh, where's so and so, and just the faces, and you're like, oh, actually, he passed away. And you know, it's interesting you said 3 weeks because I think it was the same, and it felt so kind of like warm, the fact that after such a short period of time they came back to the restaurant, you know what I mean, like, and you know, without him,
especially with food and restaurants, like family gatherings, it creates these moments that there's attachments, and they try to, like, you know, keep those memories alive. And again, you create those spaces because clearly the clientele's come back to experience those moments. You know, we've been very, very fortunate to be part of that, you know, in other people's lives, and I think that, you know, it's a blessing in itself.
So, you know, COVID definitely changed the mindset of everyone working in the space.
Yeah, I agree.
Like, it was just like drastic changes. You know, like I had one cook that was just so talented. You know, and if COVID didn't happen, God knows where he would be. Where is he today? Working at Canada Post.
Wow.
pivot, right? A lot of people in my that
Wow.
I knew of completely
Does
changed
he like
fields.
it though? I mean, he's out of the industry and
What he likes is what I just touched on. He likes
The hours.
no
the-
weekends.
Yes,
The
I
hours
like that.
are hard.
He
so,
makes
yeah.
more money.
Yep.
He's unionized.
Yes. So let's just get back to the timeline real quick. So we did Burger King. Then after Burger King, you went to
so-
culinary school.
So
then
we're
you
at
did your
Med.
stage.
Yep.
So we're
Med.
at Med, and during that time frame or that time period, when I officially like left culinary, because it's like it was like the first part of it is about a year and a bit, and then they had another course at the time where I had to go out and work for a year and then come back. It was kind of a think tank project at the time,
Interesting.
where what they wanted to do was have graduates go out, work for a year, and then come back and take this course. So what it would be like a think tank. Like I did Med, but then I worked at a few other places, and that cook might have worked at a steakhouse, and that cook might have worked at some fusion place. So now there'd be 16 or 15 of us for 9 to 10 months working together and sharing
Your
our
knowledge,
experiences,
exactly.
right?
Wow.
So at the time it was called Cuisine Actualisée. They've changed the name of it now.
Okay.
And everyone got to showcase kind of what they picked up by doing a service at the school, because the school has a dining room, right? Coming out of that, no one was really hiring because it was in the winter, right? When I finished that course. And I was, in my head, I'm trying to figure out, well, what do I want to do? Do I want to do French cuisine? Nah. It's you're learning the fundamentals, the techniques.
The standard.
Do I just want to cop out and do Caribbean food? Because my mother from Barbados, father from Trinidad.
So that was your
Yeah.
roots.
No, I want to do something different. And I don't know when and how it just popped in my head. Cajun Creole.
Really?
I love it.
So, okay,
Interesting.
we're in Montreal. It's Louisiana. Now, how am I going to learn this stuff? So I had to go and do research, right? Time. My chef mentor, rest in peace. Now he's past 6 years or 7 years going on. Michael Menorgan was doing that food in the city. So there's a restaurant in Sherbrooke called Louisiana. It's been there for 30
Yeah.
years.
Yeah.
He created that. But his first, I believe it was Van Gogh downtown was where he introduced it, right? And then he ended up working at a place called Benedict's on Monkland for the longest time. And that was his blackboard. And he had people coming in for all these different Louisiana type specials that he was doing. So what did I do? I worked with him for free for 6 months.
Amazing.
Because when I graduated, I didn't give up the hospital job. I still had the
You still
hospital
had the
job.
hospital job as an
Smart.
income.
Right? I was going to school during the day and working during the evening. So when I graduated, I said, you know what? I can play around with this. I don't have to be here full time. I can be on call. I have enough seniority that I would get called in and kind of pick my days. So I approached Michael and I said, would you be open to me working for free with you 5 days a week? I'll make the commitment. And that's where this journey started.
So you did say you had to do research, but did you like Creole food particularly? Like, did you?
Yeah, because
Cajun
it's very
style.
similar to what I grew up on.
Okay.
Right, and if you know anything about the region, it's a mix of French, Spanish, African. It's a
A true
blend of
melting pot.
cultures,
Yeah.
right? So it's not a stretch. So again, I just soaked it up like a sponge, working with him. And then I went back downtown and learned another set of skills, dealing with volume at a place called Bistro on the Avenue,
Oh.
which was in Westmount. And at the time, it was already there for about 25 years or 26 years. like the Mulroonies would go there, a lot of politicians and stuff. It was like their regular spot where they would go and hang out and eat. And if they had, influential friends or whatever, they would kind of go in there.
That's it, yeah.
So then the chef that I was replacing was there for quite a long time. So there was this pressure, right? And the funny story there was when I went there, I thought I was being interviewed for the sous chef position.
Wow. So the blessing in disguise came in.
That's initially what I thought. I was going there to be interviewed for the sous chef position. And then the owners turned around and said, so, well, when can you start? Well, like if you were like, when can you start? Well, I don't know. When would you like me to start? And then I don't know, because it's so long ago. I don't know at what point in that conversation, well, you're going to be responsible for everything. I was like, whoa.
Went off the bat, right? Boom, let's go.
But because of where I was at that point in my career, I reached out to another mentor of mine who's passed away, Guy Rivet, who was a culinary instructor. And his feedback to me was, listen, there's nothing wrong with failing as long as you give 100%.
Yeah.
That is one of the truest gems.
That
ever.
is such
I absolutely agree.
good advice.
Yeah.
Wow.
I think for the
That
young
is-
people listening, I think, in his stories, there's a few gems that I think I would like to highlight. Your greatest asset when you're young, your time. Because I think if you had requested, I need to get paid this, I need to get paid that, and you came in because you graduated from, culinary school, and you came in with that type of ego, I think it would have held you back. But again, understanding your greatest asset, which is your time, being able to soak everything in, and again, not being afraid to try.
You, like I said, as long as you focus, and that resonated when he said that. I said, well, you know what? Let's do it.
Yeah.
And I'm glad I did it because it just. It's
Came
funny
naturally.
because I'm talking with you guys now, and I'm just thinking about all of this,
Reminiscing, remembering.
and it's all part of the development,
Yeah.
and which has given me these assets that I've acquired. It's all of these experiences along the way, and that restaurant taught me you have to lock in. There's no such thing as an off day. You have to be there at 7:00.
Yeah.
If you are not there at 7:00 and start your routine, it was going to be a long and hard day. That 5 to 10 minutes would change your day. 30 minutes.
It would be wrecked. You're catching up.
Brutal.
Yeah, you're just playing catch up.
It was very system oriented.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like I get in, open the door. Well, normally the door would be open.
Yeah.
They'd be cleaning.
Somebody's in before you.
Turn on the kitchen light.
Mm-hmm.
Take off, if it was winter, take my coat off, whatever. Get changed. Head into the walk-in. Just take a look around. Start my orders. Go back upstairs. Start my stock pot. Start whatever else I have to do.
Mm-hmm.
So stuff's going on the stove. Then I start making the specials. So that was a challenge at this place.
Oh, the creative came in, the creative aspect.
They had this concept at the time, 5 days a week, 7 specials for lunch, and they change every day.
Wow, that is a task.
Same thing at night.
Oof,
So that's where you become a pantry chef.
that's it. What you
You
got.
walk
what
in
you
and
can.
create, you transform. So it could be salmon, but if we're talking about salmon that's going on 2 days, now we make croquettes.
Okay. Nice.
Right? I had a fish by itself, but now I take that fish with an orange sauce that we were using on a bavette. Now that orange sauce goes on this fish, and we pair it with this veg. So you're doing a lot of this.
Mixing and matching and
Mixing
painting,
and
basically.
maxing,
All types
right?
of colors.
And some days I would only come up with 5. I wait for my guys to come in and bang it off of them. Okay, guys, we need 2 more. We got 15, 20 minutes, start your day, and just let me know what the specials are going to be.
Wow.
So doing that for 2 years, plus it was friggin' busy. 175, 185 covers for lunch.
Ooh.
77-seat bistro. 3 of us working in the kitchen with a dishwasher. And then at night, this would amp up to like 200 or 250
Jesus.
in that space. So you learned mise en place. You learned that if you forgot something and you're on the line and service starts, you're not leaving the line to do anything.
Yeah, you're done.
You might have to pull something. Welcome to the wall of shame. The salad is no longer available because Teddy forgot to cut the lettuce.
Oh my God.
The chef forgot to make sure he had 6 liters of soup. He only had 2. We're out of soup. So like everyone knew that you dropped the ball.
Dropped the ball, yeah. It
Right?
was one of those hard, bitter truths that you have to learn real fast.
So fast food, all the managerial side of things, volume as well. Now you're in this space where volume again, but mise en place, you have to have it's all systems, right?
Exactly.
Now the restaurants are changing, but the one thing that's not changing is the system. You have to have a system.
And I think that's something that like I'd like to touch on, especially for younger people that are in the industry, starting up, maybe opening their first business and running it and having some a bit success in the beginning, but the inconsistencies. I think if you allow us, what are your thoughts in terms of the system? As in, like, does it have to be dynamic? Can it be, like changing here and there, or you want consistency and you want like?
Well, listen,
it's important to you.
The other gem for you.
Yeah.
Businesses will succeed or fail by one word: consistency.
Nail in the coffin. That's it.
If you're not consistent,
No, for sure.
you're failing. So you have to be consistent.
So I have a question for you about that. So back in the day, I'm not going to go too far back, right?
Yeah.
Technology wasn't the same. You didn't have all of these crazy inventory systems, detailed inventory systems where you open up your phone and you could see how many pieces of salmon you have in fridge A and how many, like you didn't have all of that stuff. Everything was manual. Do you feel that, first of all, do you use an inventory system at the moment at Bistro Nolah, like an automated?
No.
Do you feel that if you had that technology, it would have been better? Or do you feel like it's just a kind of like a Band-Aid for laziness?
So here is another
Gem.
for you. Well, it's not gem, it's just what it was.
Please.
You see, today, if I asked either one of you to give me 10 phone numbers, could you give me 10 phone numbers?
I used to not have a cell phone.
Absolutely not.
So
Absolutely not.
I grew up with a phone
Sammy.
book. I grew up with a
Absolutely
phone
not.
book, and in my head, I always knew 30 to 40 numbers. That was my generation.
That's it. That was a lot.
Because we didn't have this
exactly.
tech, right?
Yeah.
So when I was at Bistro on the Avenue, and then when I ended up going to the Willow, which is even a bigger operation, 3 kitchens,
Jeez.
6, the patio outside in the back was 200, 100-seat dining room and a 75-seat pub.
Wow.
This is fact and not fiction. I could tell you how many 1-pound bags of coffee I had upstairs in that closet or that room. I could tell you how many cans of tomatoes you'd find downstairs. I could tell you how many cases of lettuce was in the fridge. I could tell you how many pounds of steak we had in the freezer.
It was
That's
all
right
up
there.
here.
Okay? Someone would say, "Chef, we're out of this." No, you're not. It's in the left hand. It's on the left-hand side in the walking top shelf.
That's it.
Okay? So all this tech has made humanity less reliable.
Absolutely. So at Bistro Nolah, do you guys use tablets?
What do you mean tablet?
Like the
waiters to
at the
ordering.
waiter, like does the waiter take a tablet?
No.
Okay, so is that, and I want your most honest opinion
Yes.
on that. How do you feel about that? You go to a restaurant and a waiter, a restaurant
You-
like Bistro Nolah, and a waiter
you-
takes your order like that.
Coming with an iPad.
Listen, I'm going to say this, and if I rub any restaurant owners the wrong way, so be it. You are shooting yourself in the foot with those systems. The menu at Beast, and listen, we're having this conversation because we got a review this week, And it was something similar to what we're talking about right now. One of my waiters did not explain a section of the menu. The menu at our restaurant from day one, and this came from another chef friend of mine, Mario Navarrete. But it was a common practice back then. Waiters had to explain the menu.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, we took it a step further. There was no descriptors on the menu. So, braised short rib with fried parsnip. They have to explain the other components on that dish. We did this on purpose to make sure that every customer that sits at the table, the waiter for 5 minutes is going to engage with them talking about the menu. And my belief is if you're making a living in the dining room, serving the public, you have to be invested. It's not, sorry, Shanois, it's not Shanois where you're going to drop the menu on the table, go and do 50 other things and come back. Can I take your order?
Yes.
No, you going to take the customer on a journey, an experience, and engage with them. So we force the engagement at the table. If you don't do this, you can't work in our space.
I feel like that's the difference between just like regular service and hospitality. And I know I always talk about this book, Unreasonable Hospitality, up there. I don't know if you've read it, but
not yet.
It actually talks about that, about the difference between, you know, like what Paul would call fast food service versus actual hospitality.
And
right?
I'm sure you've noticed it across the industry that we're leaning towards one direction versus the other.
I know. It drives me crazy.
Well, some.
Exactly.
Well, some. Look, there has to be a balance. So now I'm going to counter what I just said. When you go to high-end restaurants, yes, you are there for an experience, and you're there because they have accolades, right?
Yeah.
2-star, 3-star Michelin. However, what I'm not there for is a history lesson on the pyramids in Egypt. Meaning, you're giving me 5 descriptors on the glass of wine that we're about to have with 8 descriptors on the food that's going to go with this wine. And we're going to do this for 9 courses.
You've already
It's too
lost.
much. I just want to eat. I just want my food.
This is just too much information that I have to process, right? So we don't do that at Nolah. We're going to talk about the key components. And of course, we want to know, do you have allergies or food intolerance?
Yeah.
And then that's how the conversation is engaged in regards to the menu.
So I have 2 questions, but I don't know which one I want to ask first. I'm going to ask this one first, and then I'll ask my other question. I'm someone who unfortunately has food allergies. I became allergic to shrimp in 2021. Very, very sad. I know, and I saw your menu, and it makes me very sad. How do you feel about food allergies? And what I mean by how do you feel about food allergies, I mean, for example, I go to a restaurant, I have my Benadryl with me, and I tell my waiter I have an allergy. But if there's cross-contamination, I know that happens. You know what I mean? Like, I don't expect miracles. How do you handle food allergies, though?
Well, listen, you have to handle them. You're in the business of serving food to the public, right? So no, you got to make sure there's no cross-contamination. There's times when you can serve a client, and there's times when you might not be able to serve a client. And I could give you examples. I mean, when I was at the Willow, it was a Saturday night. Place is jammed. Waitress comes in from the dining room. Richard, we have a lady out here. Her kids are allergic to, and she takes out a card.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord.
7:30. Saturday, 7 o'clock.
Every chef,
Jam
every
it.
cook is looking at this and goes like, oh my God.
And I looked at her and I went, we're not serving them.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I said, we're not serving them. You want me to tell her that? 100%.
Yeah.
I'm not serving her kids here.
Yeah.
You can
You're
go
not
somewhere
responsible.
else.
You're not going to be.
This is too busy.
Yeah.
I'm not reading this. And we're not, you see what's happening here? It's not happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
How did she take that? The client, obviously the customer.
Honestly, I don't know.
Yeah.
And I don't care.
Yeah. Because you have to
I love
protect.
that.
Okay?
You know what I mean?
No, but it's true though. It's in the middle of rush service.
Yeah,
I
because you
agree.
can't deliver the quality and
Exactly.
the respect all the guidelines
So,
provided. So
in your situation, this is not an issue.
yeah.
However, here's my pet peeve.
Tell me.
You've been sitting in the restaurant for an hour and a half or an hour, and you're going to tell my waiter an hour in that you're allergic to shrimp.
Oh no, I walk in and I'm telling you.
But this is what,
But again, it happens.
but this is what we get.
That's crazy though. Why so long after?
So the human in me says, well, hey, I'm here to serve you. But if you're deadly allergic to shrimp and you don't think that's a priority when you say hello to the waiter, I'm allergic to shrimp, that you just remembered after your second glass of wine an hour in that you're allergic to shrimp.
At that point, it's out of your hands.
A little Darwinism.
And then,
No, but it's true.
and then yeah, a Darwin Award winner.
Darwin, exactly.
But then
Yeah.
we have another demographic of the public that use the allergy to make sure they don't get something on their plate.
And you've seen it because I've noticed it when I was younger. It wasn't that much of a thing. Now it's becoming.
Oh,
The A word is kind of like just tossed around, but
I'm
not
allergic-
really. The
I'm
word
allergic,
is like
I'm allergic
but not
to
really.
garlic.
Can I? Okay, I do that with one thing, but only because
You're guilty of this?
one thing, but not
Sin.
always. And it's only
Sin.
because, and Paul will attest to this. Sorry, Paul will attest to this. I can't have cilantro. It makes me nauseous.
Oh, you're one of those.
I wish I liked cilantro to the point
tastes like
where
soap.
no, but wait, no, I wish it tasted like soap. I would much rather eat a bar of soap than eat cilantro. That's how much I can't even stomach it at all.
Okay, so
But I ask no cilantro. And there's a specific place that I do that at where I say, please no cilantro. And then I will not say the place, my banh mi with so much cilantro in it to the point where Paul has to go back and be like, guys, no cilantro. But so at that specific place, I started saying I'm allergic to cilantro. And guess what? They still put cilantro in my banh mi.
Yeah.
So I guess it doesn't help.
So that's I've heard that, and I have friends that are like that. That's not a biggie. That's just what it is. I don't get it. I find it so refreshing,
I wish I liked it.
but I get it, and that's the reference. So, or it's just a thing that you just don't
I'd
like
rather eat soap.
That's
That's how
fine.
much I hate it.
it. That's fine as long as you're not using it
No.
to drive a narrative. Just
No.
be honest and say, look, I don't like garlic.
Yeah.
That's not a
I
problem.
don't like ginger.
Yeah.
Don't say it's an allergy because then it sets up a whole chain of events in the back.
No, that's true.
'Cause
Right?
in the food industry, we take allergies very seriously.
You have to
It's
take
life and death
allergies very
sometimes.
seriously.
That's
like,
it. So it's not. We don't casually throw the A word. Out.
Except that one banh mi place that clearly doesn't care.
and it's funny how the industry has changed, right? Because when I started out, the biggest allergy was peanut allergies.
Yes,
Now I don't hear about peanut allergies anymore.
it's true.
And then it was seafood, shrimp,
Yes.
Shellfish.
So
shellfish.
Absolutely,
Right?
I agree.
The latest fad and the one that we hear about
Are we
a
talking
couple
about the G
times a
word?
week.
The G word.
G word.
The
No,
G word.
really?
Ooh,
That
Gluten.
bad.
the gluten. The G
Gluten.
word. Yes.
That bad.
So
Very fashionable.
I know there's a lot of women who want to watch their carbs,
Yeah.
so they've become allergic to gluten. Instead of just saying, well, no, I just don't want
Carbs.
I just don't want carbs. I don't want
Give
any
me
gluten.
Give me lettuce.
So we have this new phenomenon, right? The beautiful thing for us is that 80% of our menu is gluten friendly.
Oh, look
That's
at
it.
that.
Bistro
Right?
Nolah,
And it-
Look at
80%
that.
gluten free.
Your rice
Yeah.
has no
Gluten-friendly.
gluten, guys.
Yeah. So it just happened that way, right? And it's fantastic.
Good. You're on the You're on the receiving end of the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fantastic.
Yeah, but the allergy thing,
Yeah.
it's
Oh,
a bit it's a bit crazy. And then, sometimes you get I'm allergic to black pepper.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I'm allergic. The best one was one lady was allergic to salt. I'm like, you're still alive. Like it's
I got him. I'm allergic to chicken. I got that one time, and I was like, really?
yeah,
Really?
You know what I mean?
chicken,
Again,
beef, eggs.
I will respect
Eggs-
all dietary restrictions, but I think you have to be honest.
Eggs, I used to get a lot at
Eggs
the
we
breakfast
have.
restaurant I
Yeah.
used to work at. Why are you coming to a breakfast restaurant if you're allergic to eggs? Just-
Yeah.
Yeah,
and I have a
that's,
friend like that too. And
That's yeah.
And
But-
one of the questions that will lead on to it is, where's that fine line between the customer's always right and then, you know what I mean? As a business owner that had been doing this for a long time,
Thank you for that
that's
question.
it. Because it's one of those things where, as much as I want to make everybody happy, because that's what
New-
we're in for, right? We want to
new
feed people, we
mindset.
want to make happy.
That's a fast food model. The customer's
It's
always,
always right.
No, the customer's a guest in our space,
And we're here to educate.
and we're here to give you an experience.
That's it.
As long as both parties, owner and guest, behave in a proper manner.
I like that.
Yes.
Okay,
Please.
when you walk through the door, you're a guest. Don't get it twisted. You're not coming in to start moving tables around.
That's it. It's
You're
my
not
house.
coming in to make You can make a request. However, you cannot make a demand.
I like that.
And I'm at this stage in my career where, you know what? Some people just have to get kicked off the island, and some people just have to be told to leave.
Yeah.
I like that.
I
And that's a
absolutely
friend of
agree.
mine telling me, own your space.
Yes.
That's it.
Don't become a victim of your space. Own your space. And I've had to get in people's faces.
Yes.
Had
as you should.
a company come in, and he was told they're going to be on 2 tables. His executive assistant or whatever, she made the reservation. So now in comes the boss. Well, no. I want all, you guys have been to the restaurant. I want 18 people on 1 table. So it's not happening. So you're telling me you're not going to do what I want you to do? I'm telling you that request is not happening. So we're going to leave. Leave.
Absolutely.
But that gives
That's
you
the
credit. I
unfortunate
find
truth.
like as a restaurant owner, manager, that gives you credibility though. Because you, like you said earlier, Sammy, you don't want to, kind of reduce the quality just because that person's making a stink, right?
We've reached a point where we're not going to reward bad behavior.
I agree.
We're not going to just cave into your... Listen, we have rules. It's like, well, why don't you want to put the table of 12 together? So now do we have to... Do I have to get in
And
to
explain the intricacies of
the
serving
intricacies
and then
of
bringing the food
the
on the left
kitchen,
side? Yeah.
the pass,
Yes.
or the line that my cooks are working on can facilitate 6 plates going out at one time. You're not privy to this walking in, that we can work under certain metrics
Parameters and guidelines. Yeah.
guidelines, right? You're oblivious to this. Why? Because you're coming to the restaurant, it should be this and it should be that. And they're just ignorant to the fact that we have systems in place for a reason,
Yeah.
right?
Absolutely.
And sometimes we have to tell them, if there's 14 of you on this table, we put the table together and the waiter takes the order. The first 4 or 5 people that get food, they'll be on dessert by the time we finish serving the rest of the table. Now, does that work for you? Is that an enjoyable experience?
Again, I think the point I think was very, very, very accurate is we as business owners and people that work in the industry, we want to provide a
Yes.
high quality
Yes.
service. And by denying your request, it is not personal. It's not because it's not possible. And I think that's the thing that a lot of people misconstrue. They think it's not possible. It's just 2 tables together. No. That's not the point. The point is, by doing so, your experience will be inferior to our standards.
Absolutely.
And we don't want to lower our standards to make sure that you think the way it should be is correct. And again,
And
we've been doing
COVID,
this a long time.
again, has created,
Yeah.
on steroids,
Yes.
a group of customers
Yes.
who feel they're entitled.
Yes.
I have,
And this happened, because now I told you, certain things I just draw the line,
yes.
and I'm not subjecting my staff to it. So we had a group of ladies, and they were on my waiter to join the tables. Like they were just grilling him. And I was doing the countdown in my head. Is this going to stop in 20? It's going to stop in 30? Because when it gets to 2 minutes, these shenanigans are over.
Yeah.
And he's trying to be polite and explain. And I walked over to the table and I said, "Thank you, Chris. I'm the owner, and it's not happening." One of them right away. "Well, isn't the customer always right?" "Not here." My waiter's like,
Yes.
I'm losing my tip.
then the other one says to me, "Well, my husband's been in the industry for years." And I said, "I'm happy for him.
Yeah.
But he hasn't been in this space here.
That's it.
So it's not working." I hope you ladies have a great evening. And Chris, you can continue your conversation with them.
I would have loved working
Absolutely.
for you.
And that's
Again,
it.
that I think subconsciously you probably took it onto yourself, but I think that's a very important role to have management and to have, if possible, the owner come in to protect the staff at the end of the day.
You need
Oh,
to
look.
have
You know what I
your
mean?
staff
Because
back.
sometimes the staff, they don't know better. They're just trying to do a good job. They were taught to accommodate and they try to like as much as possible. And they don't really necessarily see where the line sometimes is crossed.
Look, as an executive chef and then now owner, still executive chef, you have to have integrity and you have to live by a principle or a philosophy, right? So I can share that story with you, and then, we can turn around and be sympathetic to a customer's request or a situation, Like there's times when we make a mistake, let's say with a takeout order, like especially during COVID, right?
Yes.
So someone's traveled to come and get an order. They get back and, God, we've dropped the ball. And this was their anniversary. So what do we do to make this situation right? Husband says, we're not far, I'll come back to get whatever. So he comes back. So here we are now. We give him a bottle of wine.
That's it.
He's like, guys, no, this is really over the top. No, it's you had to come back here. Your time is worth money, and this is the compensation. So this is, like I said, when we drop the ball, we correct the problem.
That's it. You acknowledge mistakes are human.
The mistake has been made. Now, what do we have to do to make it right? So this also works for my staff. When my cooks drop the ball, I absolutely make sure they understand that $4 item that you did not execute properly, that left the kitchen and ended up on the table, that caused a kerfuffle, ended up costing the house $200 because we gave them a gift card for $150, plus we comped that item,
Absolutely,
plus we
yes.
replaced that
Stuff.
item. So they're held up to standards as well. Nothing leaves the kitchen that you're not 100% sure of.
You're not proud of, exactly.
And if it does, there's a price to pay.
I like that. I like what you said earlier too, of you don't reward bad behavior, because I feel like nowadays the person that yells the loudest gets their way. And for me, the thing that used to bother me the most when I used to be just a waitress, it was trying to follow the rules. Really dumb. I can't change your bacon for more potatoes. I'm sorry. I can change it for another meat. I can't change it for more potatoes. And then I want to speak to the manager. Manager comes. Oh, okay, whatever. Just give it to them. I just spent 15 minutes explaining to them why I can't do that. And just because they yell loud enough, you just accommodate something that we're not supposed to accommodate.
Everyone has to be on the same page. And this is why we set that from the jump in the West Island, where you can have that, and it's a small percentage of people that will taint an area.
Yes.
It's not the mass. It's just a small
few
percentage
that-
that do the circuit,
Yeah.
and they're used to getting their way.
Yeah.
And then you have to check them. Why? Because you see them in all the places if you go out and dine,
Yeah.
but they behave differently in each space. So they'll go to a place like maybe like Alo Monkoko and give the waitress nightmares. And then they'll come to Nolah and they'll sit down and behave. Why? Because
They think,
you're not, that's not the space for, you to
Make a scene.
make a scene.
No, for sure. I want to talk a little bit about your menu.
Yes.
So you're a chef, you've built your menu. What is one item on your menu that you will never remove? Is there an item that you've had from the start that you have never removed?
Well, because we are a niche restaurant, our core menu hasn't really changed much from day one.
Wow.
What has happened is we've tweaked, or there's been an evolution of those dishes to make them better. Like just this week, one customer shared a picture because, she's been going to the restaurant for like 11 years of our shrimp Creole. And she went, wow, what a difference then to now, right? So our that's why I say, like, and I've said this, I think, to Steve and Paul, I said, what we do is sophisticated comfort food. Presentations are pleasant to the eye. It's not over the top photographic, because
Yes.
we're in that area where everyone wants to take. So you're doing marketing.
Yeah.
When you create a plate and how you set everything up on the plate, you're marketing. Most of the people are going to take a picture of it and share it, and you want to get that reaction, right? So now it's not what it was before. There's so much psychology
Behind
happening
every
now
single-
in food. You know,
Too much?
It's a lot.
Too much.
It's
Too
overwhelming
much.
now.
Again, because you've done from pen
Yeah.
and paper to where
Yeah.
the food spoke for itself to
Yeah.
now where it needs to like do a million things because your entire business model and your entire families depend on the dish and every little detail.
It's
You
it's the psychology of food now. Like if you're getting into this space right now, there's so many things you have to think about. All the analytics. And it depends how deep you want to go down the rabbit hole with this, you know?
Yeah.
Like, is the color red on a plate more appealing to people visually? Is the scent of herbs, does it play with the senses in someone's head when the dish is put in front of them, you know? So we're living in, like, how far, I handle all the social media for the restaurant.
Interesting. Oh, wonderful.
Which blows a lot of influencers
That's it.
and people who manage social media accounts. Like, there's no way you did this. And this is what they're telling
again,
me.
yeah.
There's no way you're doing this. And I'm saying, like, well, who's doing it?
And
It
who else,
definitely ain't my partner. It's me, and I spend 4 to 5 hours a week doing this. And I'm going in the analytics, and I know what my client is. I know the demographics. I know the age. I know the area code. I know where people are coming from. I read the comments, compiling all this data,
Yeah.
and hopefully sharing and posting content that will resonate
With people.
with people.
Do you feel, does it scratch the itch for you? Because you are a curious person from the get-go. You like to learn, you like to see, you like to test, you like to experiment in this area that's not food related or ish related.
The reason why I'm doing it, is simply because it's not that I don't want to give it to someone to do. It's that everyone that's approached me to do it, they're not telling me anything that I'm not doing already. And they want $500 a month.
Yeah.
They want their
And who's going to tell the story of my restaurant better than me?
No,
I
that's
agree.
absolutely true.
Right?
That's
So
absolutely
why am I going to give you
Absolutely.
$500 a month? To do what? To take the pictures that I send you or the pictures that you take and you're going to post them and tell me to give you an extra $25 or $30 to run the ad?
Wow.
I can do that. And I'm not bad at taking pictures.
No.
No, for sure.
So,
And you can learn. And these are the things that are
and you
skills
can
that
learn.
you can pick up.
and then you
Absolutely.
take it and you put it in software and it looks like $1 million.
That's it. And I think
As
that's
long as
one
you
of-
get the right angle.
That's it.
Sorry. You guys can edit that out.
Just so you guys at home know, our producers are both food photographers.
That's it. That's it. But I think
Just
that's a
Hey,
very
listen,
fair
I
point.
still have respect for those guys because as good as I can take a picture, when they take pictures,
It
it's
looks-
like
It's
it
different.
looks like
It's
$1 million
different.
bucks.
yeah,
It
it's
makes
just
my mouth
it's
water. Yes.
you like it's like the restaurant's my space. That's their space.
Absolutely.
And make no mistake about it, they own that space.
That's it.
You know? So but I do what I do because it has to be done. And I'm discovering this, a lot of my restaurant owner buddies, they check out. They don't want to know anything about social media.
Yeah.
Websites are dated. They're not even functioning properly. And I'm like, you guys are missing out on a lot of money.
Yeah.
No, it's true.
And I feel like that's one of those underestimated costs by the people that attend, that they don't realize the effort and energy and like the negotiations that takes, the hours spent for one post or one story, an idea. And it's like, it's a lot that is
Like-
draining, that already 80-hour week, right?
Like I
It's
told
already
you,
draining.
what you put in is what you get out. Now, yes, I can look at metrics. I can do my due diligence. But we never know with 100% certainty what the return is going to be when you project all of this out to the masses, right? But what do I use to gauge that? Summers were busy. September rolls around, normally in this business, and sometimes it just takes a little bit of a dip. Why? Because everyone's out and about, school starts,
Exactly,
and
yeah.
whatever, people kind of check out. We transition into September, no change. We transition into October, no change. November's another month where sometimes things dip. No change. Then now in November, you start getting Christmas parties. You go into
Yeah.
December,
Get the
Christmas
reservations, yeah.
parties. That's going to be busy. That's fine.
Given.
Then we roll into January. January is a month where it dips again.
January, February.
People just spend all this, they're eating,
The credit card bills
credit
coming
card
due.
bills.
That's it.
Yeah, so worst
Again.
months for restaurants. January, February are the worst.
Again,
No,
no
change.
change.
Amazing.
Going to February, Valentine's, right? That's the big day
That's it.
for February. Again, no change. January, February, then in March. We had one quiet night. It just, so is that because I've put my foot on the gas and I haven't let up? I don't know. But I know if I wasn't doing anything, we might not have.
That's it.
And reaching out just to influencers and inviting people into the space. And knowing that, like example, last Wednesday we had a YouTuber in there. I didn't know him from a hole in the wall.
That's it.
I just saw the camera and I said, "Whoa, what's going
you
on
doing?
here?" Sent my waiter on a little fact-finding mission. Who's this guy in the restaurant? Oh, he's a YouTuber. On his own dime, doing whatever he's doing, looking for content.
it.
Why? Because another influencer told him that he should check out Nolah. And he was working somewhere and someone said, "Did you try this restaurant in the West Island?" And I think he told me a year and a half or 2 years passed by. And then one day he was like, because first he was doing food.
Okay.
Then he left the food space and decided he wanted to get into travel.
Okay.
So travel was working for him. But then because he really likes food, he wanted to add that content in with his travel. Then boom, in the West Island, let me go check Nolah out.
Oh, wow. Look at that.
So like I said, if you're not actively tapping into what's out there, you don't know.
That's it. And the evolution of being in the business.
Yeah.
To be able to adopt and to be able, like you said, to pivot. I think that's one of the crucial aspects
Because
of it.
yeah, don't forget, I am from the newspaper era.
Yeah. Advertising on newspaper.
Newspaper and radio.
And radio.
Right? That's dead, right? And back then, restaurant owners, a lot of them would only advertise when things got quiet. They didn't understand that that's when it's quiet now, you're dead.
It's too late.
No amount of advertising can help you.
Yeah.
You have to advertise when you're busy. And when I tell people, it's like, what are you talking about? I said, you need a captive audience. If anything that I put out, if I could bring 20 new people to a restaurant a week, they need to come into a space that's vibrant and popping
And alive.
and alive.
Yes.
They can't come to a space where
It's dead.
Like, what's going on? Do you feel like
There's
you're
like
duped?
4 people in the restaurant. Yeah.
You feel like you're duped sometimes with the influencers. They dupe you. You know, like
that's the other thing. Now I vet influencers.
Absolutely, as you should.
You know,
'Cause everybody
so-
is calling themselves an influencer. It's very easy.
And I've ruffled a few feathers. Well, yeah,
yes,
because
I've been there. Yeah,
yeah,
I've
I've
been
ruffled
there.
a few
Yeah,
feathers
yeah,
because
yeah,
they're
I've
like,
been there.
"What do you mean you're not?"
You're not paying your bill.
No, I said Nolah's. I said, and I've given it. I've done this with maybe 2. I said, Nolah can help you, and I like the content that you're doing, so we can have this collab.
Yes.
Just so we're clear, Nolah is helping you.
Not the other way around.
But I like the work you're doing, and I think the work that you're doing in this space is gonna benefit both parties, right? And then some of them are like offended, like, "What do you mean?" I said, "Look, I've gone to your page, like first of all, it's not about the fact that I have 11.3K followers or whatever it is, and you only have 2. Is that the content that you post, you get 1 and 2 comments.
Yeah.
That's not enough. For
No
you.
one is, the
no
stories that
active
you're
engagement.
telling has no engagement.
That's it.
No, it's.
Are you a chef or an influencer? No, I'm just keeping myself informed.
That's it. I think that's the curiosity to dive deep into not just
what's
the first
happening, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, hey, I'm putting it out there. Any social media manager that can replace me, the check's ready.
Let's check. That's it.
The check's ready.
Teach Richard something new, and you might have an opportunity, guys.
Again, but you better come correct with the homework because
Yeah.
Richard does his work.
So
Yeah.
I gotta pivot the conversation a little bit, as this is a podcast sponsored by Cluster POS, and Richard at Bistro Nolah is a proud Cluster POS user.
Yes.
I have to ask the question: how has technology helped you in your business? By technology, I mean POS, payment terminal, like the whole. All of it.
Well, of course, it's easy. It makes life a lot easier.
Do you remember the days back, the pen and
Oh,
paper
God.
days? And,
Did
you
you
know,
go
in the
back?
kitchen, course one.
No, that tech has evolved for the better, right? Because now I am in the Cluster ecosystem. It's funny because I had a restaurateur in for brunch this weekend, and they just missed the boat, unfortunately.
No.
If we probably had lunch prior to them resigning with a company that we were with before,
I
It's okay.
see.
We can, like I said, we can mention other companies. It's sponsored.
Maitre D.
Oh, yeah, I used Maitre D for 10 years. It's fine.
And I told him, I said, yeah, I was all about Maitre D. And then, Amy walked through the door pitching this thing. And I was like, okay, Richard, just change your mindset for a second. Let's
hear
see what's
Amy.
happening. I said, listen, what you showed me, this looks fantastic, especially the back office. Because Maitre D, like what we were using was just like so
Old school.
the Flintstones.
And you
It
can
was
It was
like,
old school. It was
oh man, it was like a nightmare just to change a menu item or to make something like deactivate an
Yeah.
item. Like it was just a whole nightmare, right? And I said to Amy, I said, look, I am down with this because for me, this is easy peasy. For me to get the reports and the data and the stuff that I need, this is fantastic. However, I'm not using the system. The waiters are using the system. So you have to pitch this to my staff. If my staff sign off on this, then it's a done deal. If they don't sign off on this, then it ain't happening.
I'm going to repeat what I said earlier, which is I would have loved to work for you because just so everybody knows, right? Like I work at Cluster, I'm in product. One thing that when I used to be a trainer at Cluster used to always come up, it was, okay, we're giving trainings to the owners, but they're not the ones using the POS.
Oh,
and
yes.
it kind of, I think just the fact I had one training. It was a restaurant in Ontario where, and I'm talking about out of like maybe 100 trainings. One where the owner, I did training number 1 with him, and training number 2, he goes, Nidale, I'm sorry, but I want you to give the training to my staff and not me because they're using the POS. No other customer, client
think
had
common
asked
sense,
that.
right?
So for me, the fact that you just said that and you said, so Amy is the sales rep. She's like our bulldog sales rep at Cluster. The fact that you asked her to actually pitch it to your employees who have been using Maitre D and
they're the ones they need convincing.
exactly. And I went from using Maitre D for 10 years to using Cluster with no training. And let me tell you, it was tough changing. It wasn't, once I started using it, I loved it. And I saw, like you said, the ways that it was easier to use and all that. But, just switching like that and getting, the fact she was able to convince your employees as well.
No, and I prepped them for that meeting. I said, look, don't leave any question off the
Absolutely.
table.
Absolutely.
Because at the end of the day, you guys are going to be picking the system that you're going to be working with. It changes nothing in our day, but once the decision is made,
Yeah.
you're not going to start saying A, B, and C.
Yeah.
Like, she's coming. Ask about splitting the bills. Give 150 different scenarios. How does the system work in these scenarios? And then based on that, we'll make the decision.
Nice. Wow. And I'm glad she actually went, like I said, I'm really glad she actually went to your waiters because they're the ones using it. And
But it's like anything else, even in the kitchen. If we decide to change something, I'm not back there working anymore. It has to work for my
For the staff.
for my
That's
cooks,
it.
for my staff. If we're gonna make any changes or move things around, it has to work for them.
That's
so
beautiful.
last question. Okay, so this is the last question that we ask everybody. And I kind of feel bad that we didn't prep you for it ahead of time. But basically, Richard, we want you to build your last meal. And what you have to do is you think of, for example, let's say an appetizer at X restaurant. So you're going to shout out, restaurants in Montreal, Laval, in the area, whatever that you like. So you'll build
get
your
into
meal.
trouble.
Either it's like a cocktail from here, this item from there, this item from there, just your perfect meal. It could be 2 items, 3 items, 4 items. What is your last meal, Richard? I know. See, we should have asked. We should have asked it earlier. I feel bad that we didn't.
You can
prep
think
for that
they'll
one.
cut it out, they'll edit it.
Exactly.
Like you've just Don't worry about it.
You've met them.
You
In the editing.
are going to be surprised.
Ooh, let's go.
Get ready to shout out restaurants, guys.
This is my last meal.
Your
Yeah,
last
yeah,
meal.
Yeah.
Chalet barbecue.
Very good. I agree.
Interesting. What specific?
Chicken.
60 years.
Just the
Chicken.
roast chicken, rotisserie chicken.
60 years.
It hits.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
Consistency, right?
That's a no-brainer. If my last meal, that's what it's gonna be.
Just that, or anything off their menu, basically.
No. Chicken.
2-leg
Just the
dinner,
chicken.
fries, sauce, coleslaw. That's my last meal.
I understand. I lived in NDG, so I'm there quite often. I know. Shout out to them.
It did shock me, I have to say. I was expecting like
This one big misconception with chefs, ladies. You know, they believe, oh, I've scored, I've landed that chef. Life's gonna change for me.
you're not cooking at home, are you?
No.
Yeah.
Yes, I do cook, but cooking at home is not a priority.
No.
You know, I would be out 4 nights a week. Someone else can do it for me.
That's it.
You know what I mean? If guests come over, yes, I'll cook because now they come.
Coming over to a
Here
chef's
for
house.
you.
There's gonna be all this
Oh,
static,
it's Chef
right?
Richard stuff.
Family, it's easy.
Boom,
It's
boom, boom.
1 dish pasta. You know what, guys? I'm ordering pizza. You know what I mean? But then if we have guests, like if you guys were to come over, no, I'm gonna cook for you guys.
Okay.
You know, it's something different, right? But no, it's as simple as that. Yes, I have things that I like. I like foie gras. I like, I like ceviche. I like, there's a lot of things that I like. But
Ceviche.
my last meal, off the top of my head, it's
Chalet
a
barbecue,
no-brainer.
absolutely.
Chalet barbecue.
That's
I
it.
like that. I like the
comfort,
simplicity.
because the shared moments with the family and everybody and all those history that comes with it.
Bistro Nolah is comfort
Beautiful.
food too, right?
Yeah, that's
Elevated
it.
comfort food. So
I thought it was going to be like geared towards my place, my spot, because then that would be, that's the OG plate, shrimp and grits. I mean,
Shrimp and
that's
grits.
so that would be the basically
The-
the item
the
the meal,
dish.
yeah, the dish you wouldn't take off your menu ever. It would be the shrimp and grits.
no.
That you might have. No, not
He's
even.
gonna add more.
The shrimp and grits, the catfish, the gumbo. Well, duck.
confit.
You know what it is? I could take duck confit off. We would get a lot of static, but because the concept of the restaurant is New Orleans,
Yeah.
the jambalaya has to stay,
Jambalaya has
the
to
gumbo
stay.
has to stay, the blackened catfish has to stay, the hush puppies have to stay, the beignets have to stay, the bread pudding has to stay. We've perfected that dish. Like our duck is on par with any French bistro in the city, second to none.
That's it. Hands
You
down.
know, even something like our braised short. Oh boy, this is a story. Our braised short rib. It's braised short rib. It's done nice. It's a great plate. 3 people drove from God knows where. They showed up, and we had a run on short rib on the weekend. So we're closed Monday and Tuesday. Definitely we're not having it Wednesday because we need Wednesday night to cook it for Thursday.
it.
They show up on Wednesday. They ordered drinks, and they left
No
That's a
short
short
rib.
because there's no short rib.
No short rib. It happens.
So let's make sure to get the short ribs, Paul.
So
short
please-
ribs?
Short ribs.
The confit. Yeah,
Thursdays.
we'll go there Thursday. Short ribs.
And I got to
confit.
say this, one other pet peeve, and maybe you guys can chime in.
Please.
So you drive, let's back up. You have a conversation with your significant other or your buddy and say, listen, you know what? Next week, I'm just going to use a name. We're going to, who do I want to put on? I don't know. I don't know who I want to put
Let's
on.
go to your
Anyways,
place.
Restaurant X.
Yeah.
We're going to go to Restaurant X because Restaurant X has this, and this. You get to Restaurant X. Now, you didn't make a reservation, by the way.
Of course.
So you show up at Restaurant X because you guys were you're driving, you spoke about this,
Yeah.
you get there. There are no tables available. There's the bar. comfortable chairs, because I know we spent like $400
on
on each of those chairs to make it very comfortable, right?
Normal people have no idea how much these chairs cost.
You don't have a table? No, we have the bar.
Yeah.
6. No, we'll come back another time. Can someone explain this to me?
I've experienced it myself. It's crazy.
I have an opinion on that. First of all, if I'm going somewhere for something specific, I'm calling them to make sure they have what I'm asking for that night on the menu, because disappointment at a
Common
restaurant.
courtesy.
I'm not even joking.
Just to
I
check.
will actually do that just to
Yeah.
make sure, I'm driving. And then your food does not taste, guys, everybody, please. Your food does not taste different. Whether you're sitting in a booth, you're sitting on a chair, you're sitting at the bar. To be honest, you're most likely gonna get a better experience sitting at the bar. You will most likely get a better
I
experience.
can't tell you how often this happens.
Yeah, it's a thing.
I know.
I absolutely
We had a
agree.
guy come in, he's by himself.
And he wants a table. Yes.
He has the bar.
I know. I can't explain it.
He leaves.
Yeah.
Your food tastes the same. Well, you didn't want to put a restaurant, you didn't want to name a specific restaurant. I'm going to name a specific restaurant that if anybody ever has a chance, go sit at the bar, Nikkei. Nikkei is a Peruvian Japanese fusion restaurant. They give you the option of sitting at a table, at the bar, or at the grill. Do yourself a favor and sit at the grill or at the bar, because they have bartenders and cooks that are there to make conversation with you and explain to you the menu and explain to you the
source,
drinks.
the items, the
exactly.
source is right
And the
there.
experience is so much better than sitting at a table. Just try it once. Just try it once.
I just don't.
I'm in the,
I don't understand. I
We've
agree.
changed entire restaurant layouts based on that experience. Where
Really?
in our restaurants that I work for, we used to have this concept of like always having a bar. So it's a Japanese ramen restaurant. So obviously you eat ramen at the bar, The moment we tried it here, the amount of people refusing to eat at a counter bar, we just had to pivot right now. This doesn't work. They don't want it. They need tables. And it's just
Well,
specifically
the
here.
only time I get it is if it's a table of 4.
Yes,
They're
because
sitting
conversation's a little bit
far
awkward.
away
Now,
from each other, yes.
depending on the dynamics of the 2 couples or the 4 people, you might want to engage in this face-to-face conversation. However, sometimes it works that 2 of you kind of gel more than the other 2, and you sit at the bar and
Yeah.
That's fine.
it works, right? But this phenomenon
No.
blows my mind. Like, you've driven an hour to come here.
Space is there.
There's 2 seats.
You're
I
hungry.
know.
You're
Right
hungry.
here.
You're hungry.
And you're hungry.
I know.
You're hungry.
But you'd rather turn around and walk out the door because there's not a table available. I don't understand it for the life of me.
I agree.
Humans be humans.
So before we let you go, Richard, the last thing we're going to ask you to do is if you want to say anything, shout out anybody, any new projects that you have, plug, the floor is yours.
Yeah.
We
Whatever
have a
you want
lot, because we're celebrating 15 years this year.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
15.
So we have a lot of things. I'm looking to do a lot of little events, wine nights, talking with a few people about what we can do this summer at Nolah. Just, for 15 years, we're going to be doing more giveaways, collabing with different influencers and stuff. And I mean, that's it at the end of the day. Just come check us out. See what all the hype's about.
Please, absolutely. And follow their socials to keep
Follow
up
us
to
on
date.
Instagram and on Facebook.
Richard works hard on his social media, so make sure you go follow all
That's
the
it.
share all that social media stuff.
Yeah, and like I said,
Come have some
I don't
good
know
food.
who's out there that wants the job. It's open, but you got to deliver.
There
That's
you go.
it.
And that's it. Thanks
Wonderful.
for having me.
No,
Well,
thank you.
Thanks for coming. And guys, please make sure to check out Bistro Nolah in the West Island. Go check out their page, make a reservation, sit at the bar. If there's no tables available, the food is going to be just as good, we promise. So thanks so much, Richard.
Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank
and
Thank you.
that's a wrap.
Signing out.